and sometimes it's a start. This time I still got my heart. A smile and a kiss and a wish and new lips. It shocks my body with her fingertips. Gravity pulls me every which way as I fall back down to earth. The day I felt like a fool by myself up on the moon. But I'd rather be fun crashing down into orbit next to you. Tasted love and I tasted war. I've never felt quite like this before. And I can never find the time to get things done. No time stands still like a loaded gun. Gravity pulls me every which way as I fall back down to earth. Today I felt like a fool by myself up on the moon. But I'd rather be fun crashing down into orbit next to you. Today I felt like a fool by myself up on the moon. Gravity pulls me every which way as I fall back down to earth. Today I felt like a fool up on the moon. But I'd rather be fun crashing down and orbit next is much too fast. Do you think I will ever last?
Live music in the studio from Hounds of Finn here on Radio Heartland. I'm moved down the hall and I've got the band right in front of me having a great time. Leslie Rich, Pete McCauley, Michelle McGregor, and Dave Drager here from the Hounds of Finn. A brand new album, you guys. Congratulations for getting it out.
Thank you so much.
This is your second album?
Yes. Last year around St. Patrick's Day, we launched a Kickstarter campaign because we knew we wanted to make a new CD, a new record. And so we put it out there for our fans to help us fund this record. And so we were lucky enough to have the support of over 100 fans and family and friends, of course. And so we raised about $7,000 to put towards the production for this record.
The record is called Gravity Pulls by Hounds of Finn. We were talking before we went on the air that this is kind of like public radio, and that a Kickstarter campaign is you kind of have to ask for help from your listeners and from your fans.
That's right. Yeah, it's a little bit of a reverse model from the record company days. But I mean, essentially, people are going to buy the record, so why not just buy it in advance?
Right.
So this was an opportunity to do that.
It's a great sounding record. You guys have a lot of energy. You've been playing in the Twin Cities for how long now?
Oh, jeepers, 6 years.
The band was founded in late 2007 as a Irish pub band, under the auspices of just wanted to make some extra money, but very quickly became more than that. So.
Yeah. All the songs, except for a couple on this album, are originals, so you've expanded far beyond your original boundaries of Celtic music and St. Paddy's Day stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who does all the writing?
We all do a little bit. I've written, it just so happens that there's a bunch of songs that I've written on this on this album, but Pete has written a few. We all wrote the Fairview Gypsy reel. We wrote together. It was one of those little magical moments where we were all kind of right in the zone.
And most of the tune bits in between the song, the lyrics, since I'm lyrically challenged being the fiddle player, I do just write the tune bits, the music bits between. So not all of them on this particular CD, but some of them are traditional.
Right.
But most of them are not.
The tune bits.
The tune bits, the twiddly bits between the song, between the lyrics.
I got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
Yeah,
lead
and-
guitar bits.
And of course, Leslie's being very modest in that, the reality is that he's the primary songwriter for the band. He brings most of the song ideas to the group. And then what we do is we flesh it out with different tune bits from Michelle, some different interesting rhythms from Dave, and I like to sing harmonies and throw in some different chord progressions and stuff. So
Great. We're talking with Hounds of Finn live in the studio here on Radio Heartland. The first song we heard was a title track from your new CD, Gravity Pulls. You've got another one lined up here called Ocean. Can you tell me about this song?
The way I write music is I'm watching the television and strumming through some chords, and eventually I'll sing nonsense lines over the music. And I was just thinking about the ocean. We're landlocked here in Minnesota, so I was kind of missing the ocean, and just kind of started to think about that. And the rest of the song just developed from that.
Great. Hounds of Finn live in the studio here on Radio Heartland.
Wanna see the ocean again. Wanna feel the sea breezes all over my salty face. Wipe away all of these terrible years. Not that I want to forget or even deny them. I wanna put them back in their place, somewhere behind, but not in front of me. 'Cause I've been drifting for years, putting one foot in front of another. I can see where this was leading me, the lost opportunity, and then another. Wanna feel the beat of the train under our sighing bodies. Wanna feel the hook and the sway as it's taking you and me somewhere. Not that I'm scared of being trapped, it's these damn rusty feet, always with a need for to move. This time I'm taking you with me, 'cause I've been drifting for years, putting one foot in front of another. I can see where this was leading me, a lost opportunity, and then another. Something I've been waiting for, but it was too much to bear. This heart is one of a kind. Built up these walls before, but it got to be too much for a delicate mind. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wanna make love in the plane, taking us higher than we could have ever believed. We fall into each other, not just to hide in the clouds. I wanna reign with you, bring life wherever there is none. Be forever, that I promise you. I've been drifting for years, but I want food in front of another. I can see where this was leading me, a lost opportunity and then another. 'Cause I've been drifting for years, but I want food in front of another. I can see where this was leading me, a lost opportunity, then another. I've been drifting for years, but I want food in front of another. I can see where this was leading me, a lost opportunity and then another.
The song is called Ocean by Hounds of Finn, performed live in the studio. I have the best job in the world. I keep having to remind myself that you guys aren't playing just for me, but I'm sitting in the room with the Hounds of Finn. Yeah. Leslie Rich, Pete McCauley, Michelle McGregor, and Dave Dreger. The Hounds of Finn and a brand new album called Gravity Pulls. Leslie, you said you wrote that song sitting in front of the TV.
Yeah. It's just twiddling.
Just twiddling. Is that how you write a lot of your songs?
It can happen that way, yeah. It can. Sometimes it's maybe the words sometimes come first, a little couplet while I'm driving in the car or whatever, and then I'll eventually put music to it. But a lot of the tunes, a lot of the songs and the musical part of the songs comes from just waiting on the kettle boiling for a cup of tea. So
You're from Belfast originally.
I am, yeah.
How did you get here?
By playing. Pete and I have been kind of playing in kind of rock bands and that type of thing for a long, long time. So it's kind of the same for both of us. We've just kind of migrated here through music, and then we eventually kind of found each other. So
you call yourself on your website a Celtic folk rock band, but you're awfully busy during St. Patrick's Day. Do you feel like you've ever been pigeonholed into that kind of music when you don't want to be? Or maybe that's a good thing.
That's a good question, actually.
Yeah, it is a good question, because oftentimes, if you play any kind of Irish or Celtic music, it's very easy to get pigeonholed into that. Mm-hmm. And so oftentimes, there'll be some venues and maybe even some radio stations that just really will immediately shy away when they see the brand or the name Celtic in your branding. And so we're trying to overcome that a little bit by describing our music more as folk rock or even folk pop with Celtic influences.
You've added drums and bass on some of the tracks on the album too, which so I think you are, from my standpoint, overcoming that. Not that it needs to be overcome, because Celtic music is also a great tradition, and it's a great thing to have on the air too.
Yeah, it can be a blessing and a curse, because if you do too much in the outside of the Celtic genre, then you can kind of burn some bridges in that Celtic music world. So there are a lot of Irish festivals and Celtic festivals out there that we like to perform at, and we love to be a part of. So if we overbrand ourselves as just pop or folk rock, they might tend to shy away from us as well.
And we love that tradition. We love the tradition of Celtic music, and we love the instrumentation of it. This is our ideal little setup. We're totally acoustic, and we can set up anywhere.
One drum's a whole lot easier to carry than a whole set.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was just going to say, if you're going to play in Belfast, you got to have a bodhrán in the band.
That's right.
But Dave, tell me about the bodhrán. It's a Celtic drum?
It is a traditional Irish drum.
How did you pick it up?
I was in a bar a while back.
A lot of stories start that way.
With us
It
one
all started
time
in a bar, and I was watching the drummer, and a lady came by and says, "It looks like you like that thing." And I said, "Yeah, I used to play a full kit drum, and that looks awfully interesting." She says, "Well, I teach. Would you like to learn?" And I said, "Sure." And so I went out and bought one and had a few lessons from her, and that was it. I was hooked. I met Pete and Leslie one night at the Halftime Rec on a Thursday, and then Michelle the next night, and we have been the four of us ever since. And this has been a fantastic ride for me.
It adds a lot to the sound of the band too. Coming from a percussionist, I guess, but it's still, you guys have a great sound, and the bodhrán is a great rhythm instrument for it too.
Thank you.
I'm live in the studio with Hounds of Finn on Radio Heartland. Their latest album, and brand new, released in March, is called Gravity Pulls. Let's hear another song from this Pete, this is one of your songs, is that right?
Right, yeah. This one dates back a few years. This one's called 20 Demons. And it was I came up with a bit of a bluegrassy riff that I wanted to write a song to. So as I was, probably doing the same thing, sitting down watching TV or whatever, playing around with the riff, I came up with the lyrics that essentially have to do with being chased by your demons. And so at the time, I was, maybe in my mid-20s. I might have only gathered up about 20 demons, but I think I've got a few more now. So anyway.
We're live in the studio with Hounds of Finn here on Radio Heartland, a song called 20 Demons.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and... Leaving out upon the old King's Highway, 20 demons on my trail. I sing a song that I will sing forever if I live to tell the tale. And though these demons have gotten me running, I know each one of them by name. And if I meet up with greed or hatred, I know just how to play their game. Yeah, you might say it's my imagination. Tell me that it's all in my head, passed off as an hallucination. There is a real as night and day. These 20 demons. For 20 years now I've been courting these demons. Boy, every year a new one springs to light, without a meaning or a rhyme or a reason. They got me all stood up inside. And when it comes down to confrontation, my demons play with a loaded die. I wouldn't mind just sort of keeping them busy. They be gambling with my life. Yeah, even if I were to change direction, my demons always catching up to me. Even if I were to find religion, wouldn't be no use to me against 20 demons. 20 demons. 20 demons, yeah, yeah. All right, take Michelle. Here we go. Dig it up now. I know that I'll never come to terms with my demons, like former lovers who've been tied to my eyes. From time to time it seems they're all that I can count on, but I could not tell you why. And so it goes along the old King's Highway, 20 demons tracking down my hide. Yeah, the road is unknown, but the going is steady, and my eyes are open wide. Yeah, you might say it's my imagination. Tell me that it's all in my head, passed off as an hallucination. There is a real as night and day. These 20 demons. These 20 demons. 20 demons, yeah, yeah. Take it out, Michelle. Yeah.
The Hounds of Finn live in the studio on Radio Heartland. A brand new album called Gravity Pulls, released in March by the Hounds of Finn. I got to ask you, how did the name of the band come about? I think I know the story, but I want to hear it anyway.
It's kind of loosely based on the myth of Finn McCool, and he had these two dogs that were essentially his sons.
Bran and Scanlon, right?
And they basically kind of went everywhere with him and did everything with him, and that's essentially what the name comes from.
It's an Irish folktale, or?
Yeah, Finn McCool was actually the person responsible for building the Giant's Causeway.
Okay.
Yeah, the legend goes that Finn McCool was hurling stones at another giant named Angus over in Scotland. They wanted to fight each other, so they're hurling stones at each other. And as they did so, they managed to build this causeway by throwing all these stones in the channel in between.
I saw on your website, which, by the way, is houndsoffinn.com, you do Ireland tours?
We're doing a tour to Ireland next year, 2014.
Does this mean you come along with the tourists and you guide the way? You bring your instruments as well?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're performing 5 shows over that whole that little stint. I think it's from the 15th to the 22nd.
This is March 2014?
That's correct.
That's correct, yeah. And we're going to be spending St. Patrick's Day in Galway.
Really?
Performing that night too. We'll get a chance, obviously, to kind of share some tales from things that the band knows, some connections that each of us has in that kind of area of the world, and we'll maybe stop off and get a cup of tea at my mom's house, and we've got a couple of shows lined up in Belfast too that we're going to be playing.
Of course, she doesn't know that yet. We're just going to roll up in the bus.
No, and she doesn't listen to NPR, so that should be pretty easy to keep it secret.
Well, is St. Patrick's Day? I've been to St. Patrick's Day in downtown St. Paul. What's it like in Galway?
No, I don't know what it's like in Galway now.
Or Belfast.
I just know that in Belfast, when I was growing up, St. Patrick's Day was not the thing that it is here.
Really?
I mean, St. Patrick's Day parades all started in Boston, and started actually by Protestant Irishmen in Boston, and also then in Philadelphia. So the whole gloriousness of St. Patrick's Day parades and music and festivities, we'll call it that, started actually here in the United States and not in Ireland.
The Hounds of Finn are in the studio with me on Radio Heartland. Gravity Pulls is the name of the new CD. We're going to close with an instrumental here, and this was written by all of you. Where did it start, and how did it develop?
We usually rehearse on Tuesday evenings, It's a couple of summers ago, we were at my house on Fairview Avenue in St. Paul, and we were in the garage, and we were rehearsing in the garage, but we had the door open and had a leftover keg of beer from my son's second birthday. Because, you got to have beer on your kid's birthday, right? Yeah, he couldn't drink it all.
He couldn't drink the whole
keg.
It
was a very nice summer evening as the stars started to come out, and you could hear the crickets chirping and everything. And so we were messing around with a little tune idea, and this is what it developed into. So we decided to call it the Fairview Gypsy Reel, because it has a little bit of a Middle Eastern Romany gypsy vibe to it. It's been really fun having you guys in the studio. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks so much for having us.
And Hounds of Finn at houndsoffinn.com at an Irish pub near you. Go see their schedule. Here's an instrumental from their new album called the Fairview Gypsy Reel on Radio Heartland.
and sometimes it's a start. This time I still got my heart. A smile and a kiss and a wish and new lips. It shocks my body with a fingertip.